All right, everybody, welcome to Hot Couch Potato, the podcast where we talk about video games. Well, one video game, and that's Destiny 2. My name is Brent, aka Boo Wop. I'm here with my man's Rick, aka A New Perfect Day. What's going on, man?
Hey man, not much. I'm just totally not playing Destiny right now, but because that would be totally rude if we're playing games in the middle of a podcast. So
you can hear like the fucking buttons clicking in the background.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Well, let me pull it away a little bit. I'm just pressing my phone. Okay, no buttons.
My phone has buttons. Damn, what is this? 2006? Your phone has fucking buttons, bro. He's playing Snake on that shit.
Oh shit. But yeah, I'm just having a blast and I'm enjoying my weekend down here in San Diego.
Nice.
How's your weekend coming along?
It's good, man. My sleep schedule is fucking annihilated, but it's so far so good.
Dude, I bet, man. I bet.
I mean, we've been counting it down for the past maybe 2-3 weeks, but Destiny 2 finally dropped on Wednesday, and it's been all Destiny all the time. I took a half day on Thursday and a full day off of work on Friday, like a nerd, just to play a video game, dude. What a world we live in, man. It's fucking crazy. And funny story about release when it dropped. I ordered the digital deluxe edition from GameStop. Should have just ordered it off the PlayStation Store, man. Because that's what you did, right?
Yeah, and the thing was already preloaded, installed, and ready to go like 9 p.m. before the next day, you know?
Damn, must be nice, dude.
Yeah, and I didn't even start it up till the next day either way.
So with me, man, I had the digital deluxe, which means I didn't get a disc either. But I thought they would like email me a code or something. This is just my wishful thinking because they have my email address. But no, I had to actually go there and that's to print out my code to download Destiny 2 at like 9 o'clock at night. Yeah, man. So I was like, all right, that's cool, man. I got home on Tuesday because they would start giving stuff out Tuesday night at 9 o'clock, right? Which is midnight on the East Coast. So I was like, all right, I'll go home. I'll eat like a light dinner, maybe take a nap. And then by the time I wake up, it'll be like 7. I can like clean my room, do some laundry, get all my errands out the way, and then pick up Destiny 2. It'll be an easy life, man, right? Dude, I fell asleep at maybe 6:30. I didn't wake up until 9:45, dude.
Damn.
It was fucking horrible, dude. I forgot to set an alarm, everything. So I wake up and I rush over to GameStop, which is maybe like 10 minutes away from my house. Barely get there before. No, I barely get there before 10, and they were locking the door, dude.
Oh my god. You're like the last to go.
Yeah, I saw the guy outside, like starting to lock the door and shit. So I don't even park my car. I like pull that bitch up, run out and be like, wait, let me pick up Destiny 2. And he goes, I don't think we can give it to you, man. I think we turned off all our computers. I was like, what? No, you didn't. Just give me a disc or something. I paid for this. Let me pick it up. And he like looks at the guy inside, and I guess the guy inside really didn't turn off the computers, so they let me in.
And damn, what a nice guy.
I know,
what
man.
A nice guy.
And that's all they had to do is just print a receipt, and they circled my little code, and I was like, that's it? And they go, yeah, man. Do you want a Destiny plushie? A little Engram plushie squeeze thing? And I was like, I'm gonna play this fucking game, dude. Get out of here. And I just left. My car was still outside with the key in the ignition. I was fucking outrageous, dude. Just trying to play Destiny, man. Lesson learned. I think I'm just gonna get the digital, like, from PlayStation Store next time.
I know, dude. I like woke up. I was like, oh yeah, Destiny should be releasing right now. I logged on. Everybody was already playing. And I was like, oh, my game is already preloaded. I wonder how Brent's doing in the middle of the night. You know what? I'm going to go back to bed.
Oh, that's funny, dude. I mean, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It was only maybe 45 minutes to download it. I think it was like 32 gigs or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Because I did it Like when I got in my car, I just went on the PlayStation app and put my code in there and just downloaded it. Started the download from the parking lot. Then I hit up a Jack in the Box, and by the time I got home, I think there was 20 minutes left or something like that. So it wasn't too bad, dude.
Not bad. Not
Yeah,
bad.
fucking technology, man. How crazy is that? I can tell my PlayStation to do stuff. Speaking of
Yeah.
technology, dude, Rick helped me realize that the PS Vita still has a use.
Yeah. I didn't think you were gonna use it for that kind of use, but yeah.
I mean, what else am I gonna use it for, man? So recently, I've been playing a lot of Uncharted, Golden Compass, I think it's Golden Compass. I forget what it's called. Actually, I'm gonna look right now. My Vita's sitting right here next to me. It is called Uncharted Golden Abyss. Golden Compass, is that a movie?
They already made a movie of the thing?
Well, no. Golden Compass is like totally not related to Uncharted. We'll look it up later. Anyways, so I have my PS Vita like on the ready, because I've been playing Golden Abyss, and I was in the middle of a fat Destiny 2 session. I was with my boy Rick in the party, just killing stuff, shooting shit as usual, and I just eaten lunch, so I get the bubble guts, and I go, "Oh no, dude." It's happening, man. I gotta use the bathroom.
Bell.
Yeah, right. The true Taco Bell form. And I'm here shooting stuff, and I'm in the middle of this pretty intense mission, and there's no stopping it, dude. The train is a coming, and I gotta go with it. I gotta get off the platform and into the train. But I'm in the middle of a mission, so I can't do nothing. And I'm just complaining about it to Rick, and he goes, "Oh, wait, you can remote play with your Vita. I don't know if it's too good, but if you're on the same network, it should be all right." I'm thinking to myself, I look down to my Vita, which is like 2 feet away from me. I go, you know what? It's worth a try. So I pick it up, press the PS4 link button. All of a sudden, it says my controller is disconnected on my TV. And I look down, and Destiny 2's on my Vita. And I'm controlling it with the Vita. It's amazing, dude. I just go ahead and, take my talents to South Beach real quick with the Vita in hand. And I'm just annihilating aliens here and there. And the messed up part is I only had like 2 more enemies to kill in that mission before I was done. But I didn't know that. So I was stressing out. Went to the bathroom, owned it up, came back, put the controls back to the controller for the PS4. And it was amazing, dude. Technology, man.
I know, like I was in the middle of talking to you, and all of a sudden you just go quiet. And I was like, "Oh yeah, he probably linked his Vita and disconnected his headphones."
Oh yeah, that's right. Because my headphones are connected to the PlayStation 4 controller, the DualShock, and that's the one thing I was worried about too. I don't know if there's a microphone in the Vita, but I was like, man, I hope Rick's not hearing, because I didn't change any settings. I was like, if Rick's hearing like the blower in my bathroom right now, I'm not gonna talk. I'm just gonna sit here and play.
A little fan in the bathroom.
I know, dude. Well, the funny thing is, like, I think I could hear you. It's just the volume on the Vita was turned down a lot. So that was pretty funny, man. Fucking technology, bro.
Pretty funny.
But yeah, man. I mean, not other than Destiny 2. I guess you can include it. What games have you been playing this week, man? I know we're gonna know about a big one, but anything else besides Destiny 2?
Fuck no, I've been playing. Oh well, you can say that before Destiny release that I was playing Bloodborne, and I was co-oping with you, and like we were getting all of the missing bosses that I've missed, the side quests that you didn't really have to do, and you're explaining the lore to me about how deep Bloodborne is. When you play like Dark Souls, Demon Souls kind of games, you gotta there is no real story. It's just you go fight these monsters, and then sometimes you always wonder, why are you fighting these people? How did you even get here? And Bloodborne, plays upon on that. Mm-hmm. It's like you have to go digging for the lore, and I didn't realize how big the lore is in this game. Mm-hmm. Like you were telling me that this guy made a 60-page paper, and I still haven't gotten to finish reading that, but I got up to like chapter 3, and I was like, dang, so this is the reason why the world is all crazy, and people are turning into monsters in Bloodborne, and like the city is in like a chaos. and then you wake up on like a surgery table, wondering like, how did you even get here? What the heck is going on? Why is there a giant werewolf in the mansion? So yeah, just playing Bloodborne, and especially playing with you, man. I don't know what I would have done, because I wouldn't have avoided all areas, especially the motherfucker who throws giant boulders at you and one shot
Oh
kills
my
you.
god. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I just remember like I would just see you like, running 20 feet ahead of me, and then all of a sudden I see a giant boulder out of nowhere, and like one shot kills you, and I'm like, oh, yep, I'm not going that way.
Yeah, dude, I was like the scout. I remember I was fighting something. I had totally forgotten those guys were there. That's how you know, like, I really don't like an area. I've only played it once, and I don't remember what's in there anymore. So I finished the game. I finished the game maybe 2 other times, and in those 2 other times, I didn't even touch some areas, like the Nightmare Frontier. I didn't touch, where I got killed by that boulder like 20 times, and then the Upper Cathedral Ward. I've only been in there once. So that's why I forgot that guy jumps through the window. That one werewolf dude. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That scared
Yeah.
the crap out of me, and especially it's all dark too. So
Yeah.
you're like fighting in the dark, and you have to get rid of your gun in order to use the torch.
Mhm.
And the gun is like the parry system, so I don't know, it gets pretty crazy. I just remember that
Horrible, yeah.
one part with the boulder scene. The first time I ever saw him, like, you were like telling me to wait in a cave, and I was like, okay, I'll wait in a cave. But in the distance, I can see you like killing enemies, and then all of a sudden, I didn't realize there was a monster at the top right corner of my screen, and he picks up a boulder, and I'm like, what is that guy doing? And then he like throws the boulder, and before I can even say anything, you're like, I get one shot killed, and then you're like, dude, why didn't you tell me about this guy? I'm like, I'm sorry, he was in the middle of throwing the boulder. I'm not a fast thinker. I can't multitask. You told me to stand still, and I can't think.
Did you tell me like you just saw the boulder come through and my character just screamed and shit? Like,
Yeah,
because I have a girl
it was like,
character.
I'm like, oh shit, he's dead.
Yeah, man, that was super good times fighting all the bosses, and I think so too. Like the bosses we fought, I really didn't fight them more than once. Like Amygdala, I only fought once. That big guy with like 6 arms, and he tears a couple of them off. Ebrietas, I only fought once, and that alien thing I only fought once. So yeah, it was a good run back for me too. Having the ability to run back with a partner, so it's that much easier to kill stuff. And yeah, dude, it was just epic times, man. Epic times.
Yeah,
on Bloodborne.
especially when you're super powerful and you're like one-shotting everything.
Not
I'm like,
even,
yeah.
dude. The boss we had the most fucking trouble with was Mikolash, man. Just some regular guy, dude.
Yeah.
The worst.
I know, and he only had like 2 attacks, but he would always get us with that stupid tentacle
I
attack.
know, dude. His fucking anti-attack with his tentacles popping up.
Yeah, it was so fast, and he would do it like spontaneously in a row, and I'm like, fuck, dude. This is
Yeah.
what you use on other anime people, not us.
Yeah, and then he has that spirit bomb too. But it's a good thing you figured out how to dodge that, dude, for that last fight with him. 'Cause
Yeah,
thing
dude,
was a
that
one-shot
spirit
kill as
bomb
well.
like wrecked me so much. It's like, stop being Goku for a second. But
Yeah, man. The crazy part is I didn't know that we could co-op on Gurman, the last boss of the game.
oh yeah, like in the dream, in the hunter's dream. So like, I didn't realize that you can, join my area, even though my area was on fire. But that was pretty cool. Like, because I wouldn't have survived on that second to the last part after Gurman. If you know what I mean, for no spoilers. I don't know if anybody's gonna be playing
Already
Bloodborne, but
spoiled it, dude. Bloodborne's been out 2 years. The gag order is no longer in effect, dude. You can spoil it. That game's been out forever.
yeah, that second boss, I don't know how people would have killed it by themselves. It like moves super fast, it like attacks super fast, and it doesn't give you time to recover. But you were like doing some of the or actually all of the damage. And I was just like playing bait getting wrecked and everything. I was like, holy shit, you know.
You
But
know what though, man? I think the first time, I think it was doing new attacks or something. Because the first time I fought it, it wasn't that hard. I killed it in one shot too. Because I remember, I was fighting Gurman, and it took everything in me to beat Gurman. Right, I used all my blood vials, everything like that, and I only had maybe one blood vial left, and maybe Ariana's blood. Is that her name? The prostitute? I had her blood too. Anyways,
yeah,
that's all I had left. And then you fight the bonus boss at the end, the blood presence or the moon blood presence, whatever it is. And for some reason, I just eat him. I beat him easy peasy. It was weird. And I remember I was talking to Jeff about it, and he said the reasoning behind that is the moon presence isn't expecting to fight you. He's just expecting to just devour you, and then that's it. You know, turn you into the next Gurman, and then that's it. But instead, since you eat the umbilical cords, it repels him for whatever reason. Like, you've become a great one. So then that's why he's not ready to fight you really, and you whoop his ass. But no, he was definitely harder when you and I fought him together.
Is it because, like, I know in like Demon Souls and Dark Souls, when you have a co-op, the monsters get harder.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe too that I was in New Game Plus,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know. It was just really hard for me, and he was like nearly one shot killing me. And if you weren't there, I would have definitely have not been that boss at all. So.
Yeah, there's just some things you got to be prepared for. I think the one thing he definitely hit me with the first time I fought him was there's an attack where I don't think you can dodge it at all, but it brings you all the way to 1 HP. And then he has this other attack or status effect where you can't heal either. Like, you can't use blood vials or anything. So
yeah,
use those at the same time, and it's maybe game over. You just have to be super good at dodging him, I guess. But yeah, no, he was doing attacks that I had never seen before, and he was moving around a lot more. So no, it was crazy. But think about it, dude. We ran in there and just one shot both those guys, easy peasy. It's kind of crazy, dude.
What happens if you die? Do you have to beat Gurman all over again?
No, you just have to beat the moon presence. Yeah, you don't have to fight Gurman.
Oh, yeah. I only had 6 potions left by the time we reached that boss. I was like, oh, fuck.
So, fun fact, I just read this the other day, man. So, and we were making fun of it the entire time we were playing. Now, Gurman has a peg leg.
Yeah.
So, apparently, he cut off his own leg so that he doesn't turn into a werewolf.
What?
Yeah, man. Because if you notice, when you inject yourself with a blood vial, you stab yourself in the leg. And I think I was reading that the old blood travels faster through your leg or something like that, or travels fastest through your legs, and that's what turns you into a beast. So that's why on the hunter's armor, there's like belts or a tourniquet around your leg so that the blood doesn't flow through as quickly.
Holy crap.
So
why don't they inject it through their arm, though? Like, or in their stomach,
like drugs.
in their butt?
I don't know. I think that's just the belief that maybe it's easier. That artery is easier to hit. I don't know. I don't have any medical background, but I've seen Saving Private Ryan, and that dude gets shot in the leg and he dies. And I've seen Game of Thrones where the guy threatens to cut him in the thigh and he would die. But yeah, man, I don't know. Just a little interesting trivia, because I know we were both looking up a lot of Bloodborne lore throughout the week, man. I wanted to get you more of the story that I couldn't explain, and you sent me like those 10 fun facts. Which, by the way, one of those fun facts is the Beast Roar, which can deflect projectiles. And in the video, the guy deflects a fucking boulder that got thrown at him, like me. And I was crying. I died a little bit inside. I was like, man. Because I have that shit too. I guess I could have used it. But yeah, that game was that much more fun. You know, it's really been a while since I've experienced the whole thing like that. You know, I just fought bosses here and there, and then did the what is that? Did the DLC recently. So it was good re-experiencing everything else, everything I would have normally skipped out on because it's too hard. But yeah, man. So with that out of the way, I know that's all I've been playing too. How's Destiny 2 been treating you?
Amazing. I don't know what is going on, but dude, they really listen to their viewers or their fan base because
Hmm.
like all of the things like traveling to different planets, they implemented where you can just go into the menus real quick and then hop to a different planet versus where you had to go to orbit all the time, load forever, then load to the different planet and just watch that cutscene of you flying to the different planet for like I don't know 6 times before you even reach your destination.
Hmm.
Now you just have to watch it one time. So I don't know. It's just, it's just it is cool. Like they have the fast travel thing where it's all over the previous or the current maps that you're in.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that way you can say, oh, there's an event going on the other side of the world. You don't have to drive your Sparrow all the way over there to get to it. You just, fast travel.
Hmm.
And I like how the events are too now. It's like it shows the indicating where and when the events is going to occur and if you want to rally with other people to start doing those events versus where you have to guess and you're like, oh, we got to use this tracker app in order to see if something's going to go on. Maybe something's going to go on. And then when you get to the planet and find out nothing is going on, you're like, fuck, now I have to go back to space, to orbit, and endure that long cutscene. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's just so many different things that I like. The improvements of what they did with Destiny, especially like with graphics, the little subtle things. Like for example, there's this one area where it's kind of creepy, and you're like in an alien spaceship, and you're versing the Hive, and they're just making these little weird noises everywhere. And I remember it was like dark, so the
Hmm.
ambiance was getting like really amplified. And I remember like I accidentally bumped into a bucket and the bucket made noise and it scared the crap out of me. I'm like, I didn't back for Destiny 1, I didn't have that sense of vulnerability. I felt all powerful. Like I didn't really care where I was, but now like the ambiance has improved a lot
Hmm.
in different areas. Um, I think that is really what I like the most. And yeah, and right now I'm currently not playing Destiny. Oh, I got set to orbit.
AFK, bros.
Yeah, crap. I put my controller down for like 10 minutes. Damn it.
I agree with you wholeheartedly on the ambiance thing. The music in this one was a huge step up. I mean, the music was already good in Destiny 1, but I don't know what it is. I think it's just a little bit more emotional. There's more stakes in this game, right? The
Yeah,
stakes are higher for
exactly.
sure with everyone's light kind of disappearing. So that initial scene in the beginning where you're walking away from the tower and stuff, and the ghost is all struggling to talk to you and shit, and you're going through the mountains and it's playing like that emotional music and stuff. I was like, oh god, dude.
Yep.
I really might die out here. Where's my gun?
Yeah, dude. I was like, dude, are we gonna really die? Because if we're not gonna get revived, we have no ghost. So, like,
Yeah.
holy shit, I felt so vulnerable at that point. Like, I was like just sniping with my pistol from like 100 yards away.
The way they set the mood too to like get into that emotional point, as the game's loading up for the first time, you get these completion screens of everything you've done in Destiny 1. And not only does it show like a picture of the activity, whether it's a raid, there's like 6 people shooting Atheon, right, this little picture, but it shows a list of the people you did it with for the first time, like on the bottom right. That was
Yeah.
so amazing, and it just made me reminisce about everything, dude. I was like, oh god, I was playing with these people 2 years ago. Oh god, dude, it was so
Yup.
good, bro. Just remembering like all the good times, it made me reminisce, and like I was almost tearing, dude. I was like, oh god, it's been that long since my fire team's been together.
I really like that too. It's just like it wasn't just with the same types of people that I played with. When I was going through the memories, it was like all different types of my people, like all of our friends. It
Hmm.
wasn't just
Hmm.
one set of teams. It was just everybody that I first beat it with was all in a different fire team. So
Yeah,
I
that's
really
true.
enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I took screenshots of every single one of those, dude, and saved it to my PS4, man. Um, but yeah, that definitely puts you in an emotional mood already, and then all that stuff happens. The music kicks in. You're like, oh god, dude, it's fucking Destiny 2, baby. Just got you pumped to play, man. And I know you haven't finished the story mode yet, but what do you think of it so far?
I really like how they actually did the story. Like you have to go to the actually inside the map.
Hmm.
So you don't just select it from a different planet. You have to go to that planet itself and then go to the checkpoint to start the adventure. And it made it feel like a little bit bigger than what I'm normally used to. It's just
Hmm.
like you go to this mission and it's like they're all integrated with each other. You got to go disable this radio tower. You gotta go destroy this. Go, do a lot of errand missions. But it didn't feel like that. The errand missions. It felt like you were actually contributing to fighting against or fighting back against the cabal or all enemy forces.
Hmm.
So it felt like you were actually building, recovering from the events that occurred earlier in the game. So, like for example, you didn't get the patrol until you were like level 20, or I don't remember, but instead of starting the patrol right away, you have to go down to the planet and actually set these beacons and
Hmm.
do missions in order to unlock it. So I really like that aspect of it too.
Hmm.
Also, I haven't really been playing PvP, so I have to, summon up the courage to fight other guardians because I'm pretty sure that everybody in PvP are like way better than me. Because I totally forgot how to shoot and play. But um, even with my potato internet, like I was surprised that I was able to play with other people and with you. Like
Hmm.
I was thinking that I was gonna lag people out, but I'm guessing I'm directly connected to their server, so that way everybody had like a seamlessly smooth gameplay. Or
Hmm.
especially during the strikes, I didn't see um, Anthony or Andrew lag
Hmm.
with my potato internet. So it's just like they had that idea of in mind of the people with slow internet, DSL internet, were able to play. So
Uh-huh.
I'm just really grateful for that because it would have sucked just playing this game solo dolo and you're like,
Hmm.
okay, I just gotta level up everything by myself, and because I don't have good internet. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
really been a blast.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. They integrated the world a lot more since instead of like you said checkpoints where you fly in and start a mission, you fly down to the map and you actually have to go to this beacon to start the mission in the map. So it felt more integrated and you felt more like you said you were a part of whatever planet you were on, that you were helping fix it after the cabal attacked. Even with the small little tasks you had to do, you saw changes in the world, right? That's
Yep.
why, for example, if I was on your team right now, we can't go to the farm together because my farm has changed from yours, right? Because of some
Yeah.
events in the story. Um, so yeah, I totally agree with you there. And then the fact that they don't give you a sparrow until you're level 20. Oh my god, dude. They really make you explore the world, man.
Yeah, run all the way when you haven't unlocked the checkpoints.
You have to run all the way across the world, bro. Well, that's cool. I mean, it might be a false game mechanic to make the game longer, which is in a lot of games they just make you travel slower to make the game seem longer. But it was cool. It made you really appreciate all the work they put in. Because in the first one, you just had your sparrow and you flew through everything. People really
Yeah.
didn't discover stuff until they were done with the game, basically, and they were just bored walking around and found stuff. But I think now there's a lot more things that are scannable by your ghost. Like I ran into like just random like dead shanks in a corner, and my ghost scanned it, gave me a little backstory to what was going on there. So it's interesting, man. I think there's gonna be a lot of secrets coming out here soon from those hunters out there, like the people that found Black Spindle for the first time. Should be
Yeah.
interesting, dude. That's what I'm most excited for, is for the community to come together and figure out these riddles and solve these puzzles that aren't that obvious. That's always the best part of Destiny. Like trying to
Yeah.
find that fourth chest in fucking Vault of Glass, which I don't think was ever there.
Yeah, like I really liked how they improved the reward systems. Like when you decrypt the engram, like in Destiny 1, you only get like one purple or one item, but then now when you decrypt an engram, you get like up to like 4 or 5 different items included. So it just really improved, that the mentality of wanting to collect more engrams, wanting to explore, wanting to get more chests, and especially with like public events too. Like I like how they changed and improved where you can turn it into heroic.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, like you have like the normal public event, but if you do like certain key actions, you're able to make it like much more harder and more enemies spawn and more loot. You get more loot in
Drops.
the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just, and then especially like how the community like already starts to know like it's a normal thing to unlock this heroic event. You all chip in for the greater good, but it's, I don't know. Destiny is pretty amazing so far, and right now I'm going through the story. Even though I just got kicked out of the mission, I got to start that mission all over. Oh god, but it's worth it.
Yeah,
Getting out to
man.
jack the ship again. Damn it.
But no, I definitely agree with you. It's good times overall. They listen to a lot of the woes. I know one of your things was you really wanted to have outposts out in the patrol worlds or feel more a part of the world. I know you said that before, and that's exactly what they did in this one.
Exactly what they did. Yep.
That's awesome. And then you're mentioning the heroic public events, which I think originate from challenge modes in raids from Destiny 1. But what is interesting to me is I think that everything we're learning in these public events, they're going to be raid mechanics of some kind, dude. And I think that's fucking amazing because they didn't do anything in Destiny 1 to prepare you for the raids, right? You jumped in the raids and this was like the first time ever you need to stand on pressure plates or something and defend an area. Or this is the first time you ever have to defend a conflux. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of firsts and introductions in the raid when they should have been introducing these mechanics like throughout the game. So I think that's cool. And then the rewards, like you said, they fixed that for themselves to make the game longer instead of saving your engrams until you reach a certain level and then decrypting them to get higher. When you get an engram, it tells you what level it's going to decrypt at already. So you can't just hoard a bunch of legendary engrams, right?
Exactly.
And then another thing they did, which we were just talking about, you can't give your alternate characters gear to level up. Like, you know what I mean? Like in Destiny 1, if you had a character that was max level and you kept getting max level gear, like let's say you had a hunter, you could give it to your Titan and just infuse all of his armor with that high level stuff and you'd be set to go. You can't do that anymore. You can only infuse hunter armor into hunter armor now. So I think I might have to.
Shattered my dream right now.
Shattered my dreams too. I'm about to not have a warlock in this game. I'm gonna have 2 hunters and a Titan.
Oh shit.
And yeah, you're right. You decrypt a legendary engram and you can get 2 different items and then a shader, which is my only gripe about the game, is that shaders are consumables now, man. It's horrible,
dude. I already used a lot of my shaders and I'm like, damn it.
Like I'll use one and then I'll get a piece of armor that's better already and I go, okay, I guess I'll just take the L and fucking get rid of the shader. Especially the cool ones. My biggest thing is I have this really cool shader that looks really cool on my armor, right? But I only have 2 of them. So what am I gonna do? Just dye my chest and my pants while the rest of me is mismatched? No way, dude.
Your arms in your pants.
Yeah. And that's the horrible thing. I think that's my biggest gripe because it just shows that these guys that's gonna be an item that you could buy with real money, right? Shaders.
Oh, I hope not, dude, because I really want to dye my armor, but I don't want to, like, I hate how, like, sometimes they only give you, like, 2 or 3 of that shaders, and, like, there's, like, 4 different chest pieces. Or
that you need to make. Yeah,
pieces.
There's 4 different pieces you have to dye, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. I don't know why they took it that way, because I guess they wanted to make it where it's scarce to get these, and you feel rewarded
Mm-hmm.
getting these
Mm-hmm.
shaders versus where you can just buy it out of the store and go on with your day. But I guess now they're trying to make it where it's like it's pretty rare, or
Yeah,
it's
it's more
scarce.
prestigious or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, that's the cool thing about one positive thing that comes out of it too is you could use the shaders on your weapons too, right? Personalize your weapons even more.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, no, the same shaders you can use on your armor, you could use it on your guns, you could use it on your sparrow, you could use it on your ships. It's pretty crazy. They added little um, respawn effects to your ships too, so that when you respawn from your ship, you can have butterflies fly around you and shit like that, which they had in Destiny 1, but this is more tied into your ship than you just drinking like a Halloween potion or something. Speaking of Halloween, I hope there's a Halloween event this year already in Destiny 2. That's gonna be amazing, bro.
Yep. Yep, exactly. We're gonna probably get 3 different shaders.
Dude, my favorite shader came in Destiny 1 from Halloween, man. So that bright glow in the dark green shit.
Oh
So I might be
yeah, for
grinding that,
sure.
man.
Yeah.
But yeah, good times. Not enough, really, really not enough can be said. We've been waiting for this game for so long, and for us to really complain, or at least for me to complain about one thing, says a lot for sure. Um, the grind is there, but fuck, that's Destiny, dude. You know, and if there's anything about me is I love grinding in video games, man.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad that like they took the previous formula and just implemented it into Destiny 2 and made it more stronger. Like
Mhm.
versus completely changing the system, completely changing a lot of things. They kept the core elements of the game and what made it great, and then they just amplified it a lot more.
Mhm. Yeah. And now it's on to the end game, man, which is getting the best emotes you can get.
I got the cool one,
Yeah,
the
the
where
Salt
you
Bay one.
the Salt Bay one.
And the amazing part is you don't even just do the Salt Bay action, but little salt comes out of your fucking hand, dude, like snow. It's
Yeah,
amazing,
like
dude.
little stardust.
Yeah, man. And then, but the
And then it
best one.
says
Oh, god.
it says it seasons the other player. A new perfect day seasoned boo up.
Dude, that's amazing, man. I think the one I love the most, and I have to get, is um the ramen one, dude, where the guy just makes some ramen real quick and throws it up in the air.
What? I have not
You haven't
seen
seen
that
that
yet. I
one?
gotta Google that.
And
Yeah.
it's cool because the neon or the ramen is like this neon bowl of ramen, and the guy's like putting ingredients into it, and I think he just throws it in the air when he's done. It's fucking amazing. And I saw another cool one yesterday. This guy did. I was so jealous. Basically, he like throws his hands up, and these 5 neon bottles appear in front of him, and then he shoots them with like finger guns, and they blow up. And I was like, "What the fuck,
Oh, I
dude?"
want
I
that.
thought I had a sick one where I was, I have finger guns and I'm just like doing the Matrix, shooting everybody behind my back and just aiming at everything. You know what I mean? Hell no,
Yeah.
there's way better emotes out there, dude. I'm so pissed. They look so cool.
Damn. Yeah, I hope to get that. Like, I think those are exotic emotes, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have an exotic ship, which, what does that mean? I can't equip more than 2 exotic ships at the same time? What the fuck?
The ship goes faster.
And it looks exactly like the ship I had before, just a different color. And I could dye it anyway, so I don't know what the point is. I guess you just want to have as much yellow stuff as possible.
Oh, that's my gripe, is like, who designs these ships?
Bro.
Like some of them are real good, but some of them are like, come on, where's the aerodynamics in this stuff?
Dude, you don't need aerodynamics in space. You'll just float. But I feel you, man. I'm flying a horseshoe right now. My ship is literally a horseshoe with fucking 808 speakers on the fucking front. I don't know, man. I wish they're way better at designing guns and gear than ships.
Than ships. I need to fire that guy.
Speaking of gear, the fucking hunter gear has to be the worst out of all the classes, man.
Oh yeah, especially
Titans.
1 through 20.
Yeah, dude. Though still, I have legendary gear and it still looks like crap. I mean, Titans look like Gundams throughout the whole thing, right? After a while, warlocks look like Shaolin monks and shit. You know, they got their robes and their cool helmets and stuff like that. Hunters look like they're wearing pajamas, dude.
They're the entire thing, you know?
They're wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt, and then they put on a fucking like robe as a hood and shit, and they're just hanging out, man. The worst looking gear in the game, bro. I feel so bad about it.
We don't even get a real cape. We get like half a little tiny cape. I don't even know what kind of person wears this kind of cape. You know, it looks like a little rag thing you like tie on, or the blankets you tie on your neck and you pretend like you're a superhero.
We're wearing pajamas, man. I'm telling you. I wish we could have the poncho that Hawthorne has. That would be sick.
Oh yeah,
that would be sick.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm just joking about the end game. The real end game is the raid coming out on Wednesday, which we're all gearing up for. Just did the Nightfall for the first time, and the Nightfall is actually crazy too, man, because the burn switches up every minute, I think. So it'll tell you solar does more damage, or void does more damage, or arc does more damage, and it's kind of crazy, man, when it keeps on switching up like that, because you're not, at least for me, I'm not gonna go through and switch out my weapons just because the burn changes, right? Like when we were fighting the boss, I would only wait to shoot my fire rocket launcher when solar was, you know, the burn.
Oh, yeah. So well, I got like, that exotic where you can change the attribute, which I think is pretty cool because it does really high damage. It has really high impact, and it shoots pretty fast. It's pretty stable, but it's just like in order to switch the attribute, you got to switch the clip. So you have to hold square, and then you're like in the middle of that slow changing the clip animation.
Oh, reloading animation?
Yeah. And then it sucks too. It's like sometimes I like accidentally pass it. So I gotta cycle through switching the clip like 3 more times or 2 more times to get back to the attribute. And then by the time I'm done switching, the guy's dead.
That's funny, man.
So I don't know. Maybe it'll be useful in Nightfall.
Yeah, it's better. It's better than going into your menu and switching out a weapon. We know how tedious that can be, man.
Oh yeah,
it's definitely better than that. That's not the only thing either. You know, there's no really like what were they called, modifiers from the first game, like switch light, where melee attacks killed you in 1 hit, or anything like that. Light switch, I think. Did I say switch light? Anyways, there's a timer now. So when you first jump into the Nightfall, I think there's a timer that says 11 minutes, right? And then there's instructions that say, you have a limited time to finish this Nightfall. Stop reading this and run. You go, what?
Wow!
So you just run through. And with every regular enemy you kill, they give you 2 seconds. So it's kind of a back and forth thing of, okay, should we clear out this room and put up some time on the board, or should we just run through it? Like, what'll be more worth it, right?
Yeah.
And then there's portions where you have to fight everything, so you want to kill everything as quickly as possible, you know. And then there's enemies that have yellow life bars that take a long time to kill. Those guys give you 7 seconds. This Nightfall was horrible because you have to fight 2 tanks, and there's I think 3 boss phases. So there's a lot of time sinks. There's even an elevator ride halfway through this fucking Nightfall, and you just on this elevator not fighting anything. The clock is ticking, man. The clock is ticking as this elevator is slowly going up. It's fucking horrible, man. But it was cool. I've only done it once because I only have 1 character, my hunter. And I think we beat it at 20 or 30 seconds left, and it was up to the last person who was alive.
Oh no.
So it's definitely a challenge. Although I think we were a little bit under leveled. I was only 260 or so. The recommendation says 240, but I do not know how you would finish that at 240. That shit is way too hard. The enemies have a lot of health. Almost everyone has a energy shield around them. The Cabal had freaking void shields around them. What? Throughout the whole game. Throughout the whole game they have solar shields. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Throughout the whole game they have solar shields, so I packed on all my solar weapons, like I said. Then all of a sudden I shoot one purple. Oh, great.
That's where my sniper would come in there.
Yeah, exactly. So I was only effective every maybe like 5 minutes when the burn would switch to solar, and I would just go ham and just unload on everything. But then before that, I just kind of sit back and take pot shots here and there. Um, but no, good times for sure, dude. I can't wait to do the Nightfall with you, dude. It'll be amazing. The whole time, I swear, we were just yelling. We're like, "Oh no, dude, we don't have any time left."
By that time, I should have a Pop-Tart. I'm gonna go to Target.
Speaking of, I heard they put them on the side of milk cartons, man. Pop-Tarts are missing. There was a worldwide San Diego shortage of Pop-Tarts, dude.
Really? What?
Dude, I know I'm in a text string with like 9 people, and they were all looking for Pop-Tarts, man. And nobody could find them, bro. And then the GameStop I go to, there's a CVS next door to it, right? So I'm telling myself, oh yeah, dude, I'll pick up Rockstar, because I think Rockstar is the drink that has the bonus stuff this time around. I go into the CVS, I go to the freezer section or the cold section, and there's all these energy drinks and one like 3
was missing. Yeah,
3 blank rows of, you know, shelf space. And I go, what was supposed to be here? Rockstar. Nothing, dude. Oh god, Destiny fans are crazy. Well, I guess it's by a GameStop too, so what do you expect, right? But
yeah.
Crazy, man.
I guess I have to go to LA's Target and see if they have some Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, man. It's gnarly, dude. Destiny is a phenomenon, man. Not even just in the gaming world, but in the Pop-Tart world and Rockstar energy drink world. It's like, what if you genuinely like Pop-Tarts, or you genuinely like Rockstar energy drinks, and you're trying to buy one? You can't find them anywhere. You're like, man, school just started. I need to get back into my back to school routine. You know, every morning I eat a Pop-Tart, and then I drink a Rockstar energy drink, you know. Then that gets me ready for my day. I'm ready for my midterm. You fucking go to Target or Walmart or whatever, and you can't find any of them. Catch an L for the semester and shit, man.
Shit, you probably see a guy at the corner selling Pop-Tarts and Rockstars. What are you buying?
He has that shit like in his trench coat too, you know what I mean? And he's like, oh, you want the strawberry flavor? We gotta go back to my trunk, man. That's where the good stuff is, bro. Oh my god, man. Too funny. Too funny. But yeah, Destiny's been a great time. For sure. Destiny 2 has been a great time. And yeah, I can't wait for the raid on Wednesday to get back in that mood of just being in awe and exploring and all this stuff. It's called the Leviathan or something like that.
What is this, delving into Final Fantasy or
I don't know, man, but it's I think there's, you know, of course, internet sleuths doing investigation work on what the Leviathan can be, and it looks like it's a world eater. There's like pictures of this huge, I don't even know if it's a ship or an alien, but it has this big gaping mouth, and it's like about to eat this planet. And then you see like this guardian ship flying towards it or whatever. So who knows, man? I don't know who it could be related to either. Maybe the Hive or
Transformers, probably.
Transformers. But there is a cutscene when you finish the game too. I'd like to hear your take on that when you finish it. There's an interesting cutscene which I think is going to be the next patch or next update. So we'll see, man. Good things to come for sure.
Definitely. Destiny.
It's working its way into your mind, into every word you say now, dude. Holy shit.
Destiny. Nightfall.
Arc burn, solar burn. Yeah. Solar burn. Crazy though. But yeah, I mean, we gave a little bit of our experience with how our first day with Destiny went, and it went a lot smoother, I think, than most people would have thought. I mean, even you were thinking with your slow internet, you probably wouldn't be able to play Destiny, you know, 2 for a while. But right when you turned on your PlayStation, it was up and ready to go with that preload, right?
Yeah, and that was crazy too. It's like I thought it was gonna be like a super huge download where I'm gonna have to wait a couple days in order to download it, but it was just right there waiting to go.
Yeah, I think they let you download it maybe 12 hours before the game came out. And then, you know, if your PlayStation is just in rest mode, it automatically does it in the background. So, yeah, you were good to go. It could have took maybe over 12 hours to download, and you were all set, man.
Yep. but I took a nap that day.
Worked out for the better. Worked out for the better. Um, but not all game releases are that smooth, right? If it experiences taught us anything, especially with online games like MMOs and stuff like that. So we're gonna talk about the woes of day one releases in the online gaming area. Do you have any experiences with that? I know you play a lot of MMOs online on your PC, man. What was release days like for those?
So, for example, like Final Fantasy, oh my God, Final Fantasy 14, it was really
Mm-hmm.
difficult to get into the game at on release, especially getting into a server. You would always encounter this error, and I think it was like 1017 or something like that. It was notorious for sending all players to the error login.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because they weren't expecting so many people to log in all at once to play this game. And what they did was they developed more servers. They migrated all the people like in different regions to specifically that region servers, because you could play in Japan servers and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was just really rough at the release of Final Fantasy 14. It took nearly, I think, up to days in order to log into somewhere.
Yeah.
Or if you did log into somewhere, they didn't have a thing where you get kicked. They kick you out for being idle. So that was the problem. Like, people were actually when they were able to get into the game, they would just leave their character idle, and then so when they come back from work, they would be able to play the game
Yeah,
because
they're
they're
still
still
online.
in. Yeah, exactly.
Shit.
So that's what caused a really big problem, and that's where I guess later, maybe a month later, they introduced where they kick you out of the game. So it was really rough for Final Fantasy 14
Mm-hmm.
during its time. Me and my cousin just, I don't know, we were so frustrated with the login. You play for a month, or you pay for a month, and all of a sudden the month is almost over, and you only were able to play for like a day. You know,
Damn. Yeah.
so what they did was they reimbursed everybody. They said, hey, everybody's gonna get an extra free month because of all the troubles going on. But at the time where they didn't say that, people were getting really upset. You spend $15 to pay for a month, and the month is already almost over. So
Mm-hmm.
it was really rough for that game. The other games I would like to say is like Vindictus. It was super rough when they brought it over from Korea and they
Mm-hmm.
tried to bring it over to free to play over here. Um, it would just lag incredibly so bad no matter what kind of graphics card you had. It was just because the servers couldn't handle with all the people playing. And so they had so many bugs and kinks that they had to work out, but it didn't take them for like maybe a year to work things out for Vindictus, and to where you'd be able to run things on smooth. And the thing is, I only can run things on very low quality. I think you played where.
Yeah, that's the game I first had my PC on, and I like sent you screenshots of what my game looked like, and you were like, "Damn,
Yeah.
mine looks like crayons."
I was so shocked to see that. I was like, "What the fuck, man? I don't even have a ground." But yeah, like it was really rough when Vindictus released, because many people wanted to play it. That was the time when MMO was running dry and people were still playing like I forget, like City of Heroes, World of Warcraft. The popular games like Diablo
Hmm.
and um all that. But that was when people were like looking for a new MMO to play, and that's where they were trying to play that game. But it took them forever to fix that um that game in itself. And yeah, that's I just realized Blade and Soul.
Mm-hmm.
So remember where we had to wait, I think it was like maybe 5 hours
Dude, a
at
long
least.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, just to log in. So that was a similar situation where, when on day one release, they encountered so many people trying to log in at the same time. So I don't know. It's
And there was a
just,
queue, right, for that? And they would tell you
yeah.
what number in line you were to get in the game, and you could see, I think, the regular people line and the people that paid for the game line, And the people that paid for the game had way shorter line because they had priority or whatever. Oh
Exactly.
my god, that was bad. That was really bad.
Yep. So those are the experience I've had with online games.
Hmm.
So far, I think Destiny has been pretty smooth. I don't remember facing any problems with online with Destiny 1.
I think during the expansion, maybe the Taken King, I think there were some login errors for sure from that one. Because I remember at one point when you press X to get into the game, it would kick you out. You know, so the trick was
uh,
to like spam the X button to log in as many times as you can while it was loading, and you would eventually get in. But you know what? That was the only one. And then I think people with certain network types couldn't get into the game. I know a lot of people who were away at school trying to use the school internet to play Destiny in their dorms and stuff couldn't do it just because of the network settings and the security that the universities put on their internet. So I know there's some difficulties with that. So they're not immune to it. I know they have some for sure. But it's definitely not as crazy as waiting in a queue of thousands of people to try and play this game.
yeah.
Which I agree with you on Final Fantasy as well. Even with the most recent expansion, Stormblood, there were queues to get in there. I remember they had to open up brand new servers too to try and lure people away from the popular ones, right? And
Yeah.
there was incentives. I think you got double XP or something like that if you moved to a new server. That's fine and dandy, but holy shit, dude. You have to pay $10 to move servers.
Yep.
That's not worth it, bro.
Yep,
That, and
exactly.
then you move away from all maybe your free company, all the friends you've made on that server. And then what's going to happen after 2 or 3 months? The server's going to die down. Not as many people are going to play anymore. And you're stuck on this empty server now, away from all your friends, dude. So that might
Yeah.
be the roughest part about that one. The initial surge of people coming in, right? And then the people that are really out there to play the game are the ones that suffer most because what they're used to isn't as good anymore. They're not used to all these changes. So it's interesting for sure. How Destiny avoided that, how they let you team up with other people on your internet is amazing, dude.
Yeah, and I would like to say is like these people have the beta test and like they do like a stress test of how many players will play, and when they open the beta, they'll see how well their servers can handle the stress. But like Final Fantasy, like they would expect only X amount of people to be playing, just based off the statistics of how many people signed up
Hmm.
and they expect, but they weren't expecting a billion of people all over the world to log into Final Fantasy all at once. So it's
Hmm.
just I don't know, especially I guess like Pokemon Go too.
Oh,
Um,
that's right. Yeah, like the game would lag when you're trying to catch something.
exactly, because they weren't expecting. I think it was like 40 million players around the world, or maybe even
That's
way more
crazy, man.
than. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a high amount of players logging in at once to catch a Pikachu, and then you notice that there's like a lot of server lags when you're in a very condensed area with other people trying to catch the same types of Pokemon.
Hmm.
It's just I don't know. I don't know how they do it. I would like to actually get into the servers and see how they migrate or mitigate all this traffic,
Traffic, yeah.
especially even the bad traffic, like you have
The
spammers and
DDoS
spam
attacks.
bots. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And how well they handle this kind of stuff, because I don't know, it's just you expect amount of people to be playing, but it's been exceeded by 500 times amount. But then it could be bad too, because it's like it damages the perception of the game for the players that really wanted to get in it, but then they have a really
Exactly.
bad experience at the very start, which is pretty rough.
Yeah, and
But
it's not even related to the game, right? It's related to network
exactly.
issues but yeah, I mean, we already know the solution, dude. The internet is just a set of tubes, right? Just set up more tubes, and you can have that many more people join. Yeah, I think the worst one for me was Grand Theft Auto 5. Well, not Grand Theft Auto 5, but Grand Theft Auto Online. When that first came out, everyone was excited to play. They came out with all this advertisements and media about how it's going to be its own thing. It really seemed like it was going to be an MMO, but within the Grand Theft Auto 5 world, which more or less, I guess you can say it is, right? You do
Hmm.
these missions, you get money, you can buy a house, you can buy yachts at this point, sports cars, jets, all this stuff now. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
with everything that they said it was going to be, I think they were pretty on point. It turned out to be a great experience. It's just a lot of grinding and a lot of money. Of course, there's microtransactions, so nobody really fucked with it like that. I think there's a few people though that are really deep in the game, so it's interesting. I know there's a whole subset of people in Grand Theft Auto that use it for a racing game, so that's kind of crazy. There's like a whole community of just people that race their cars in Grand Theft Auto Online. But when it first came out, it was a struggle trying to create your character and get done with the first mission. And I think that's the funniest thing is when all these initial day one login issues become memes. I think there was one for Destiny when Taken King came out. The network errors are related to animals, and I think the one that kept popping up was Weasel or something for Destiny. Whenever people got kicked off of Destiny, it said you
Oh, I remember. It's
reached
like
Weasel or
animals.
something, or
Yeah.
yeah, or something like that. So, and everyone would draw pictures of a weasel and post it online or something. I would be playing Destiny, but I found this little guy outside my house, and it's a fucking picture of a weasel or whatever. And then there's one for Final Fantasy 14 for Stormblood. I think it was XO14 or something like that. Z14 was the error code everybody was getting. So that became a meme. I know in Diablo 3 when we started playing that, there was a lot of network issues. So people were making memes out of that too when they were trying to log in. But the big one in Grand Theft Auto was one of the side characters. The first mission you ever do once you create your character is like a street race or something, or you pick your car. And your character would get into the car, and I guess once you get into the car, that would load you into the world. Oh no, you get picked up from the airport. So once you get picked up from the airport, you get in the car and they drive you to this location, and that's just a cutscene. Once you get to the location, I think that's when you get into the online mode.
Uh-huh.
People would stay in that car forever. With Lamar, that's the character's name. He would just be in that car and not get out because it wouldn't transfer you into the online world because everybody was trying to get in at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
So it was crazy. It was crazy. You just had to sit there, hope for it to load. If it wouldn't load, you'd try it again and go through the whole process all over again. You had to make your character, which making your character in that game was weird. You don't really make your character. You choose who your parents are, and your parents are what make your attributes your attributes. So it's kind of interesting. I think you could even choose one of your parents to be John Marston, and you get John Marston's like freckles or something, dude. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I remember that was a big one. And to exacerbate it even more, they occasionally wipe the servers. So I remember I was playing with Marcel at the time on Grand Theft Auto Online. We were pretty heavy into it. And we had gotten to a point where we were able to get garages. I mean, I think we were doing this car glitch where we duplicated a car and we're selling it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I think Marcel hits me up and says, dude, my character's gone. I think they wiped the servers or they erased my character. I'm like, no way, dude. I jump in and mine's still there, thankfully. But I know a lot of people, they had to restart their characters maybe 2 or 3 times just because I
Damn.
guess the way they brought them into the world finally wasn't a good solution to it. So they just dumped them, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of gnarly, man. So there's always challenges. If only everybody can be as prepared as Bungie is with Destiny 2, man. That's why betas are such a good thing, right? Especially letting it out for free. You get to know potentially how many people could jump in your game at once. So that's pretty crazy.
Yep.
And the interesting thing is online games aren't the only things that are immune to like these day one issues, right? A lot of games now have day one patches where if you're not connected to the internet, your game won't run. I know Assassin's Creed, I think Unity, the one in France, was a big one where there was a bunch of glitches in that game, and unless you downloaded the day one patch, you were kind of fucked. Do you have of any single player games that had day one patches like that?
The only one that's on my mind right now is Batman Arkham Knight.
Mhm.
For the PC, I remember like all the PC players would have super amount of troubles with logging in or playing Batman. There's a lot of glitches going on, and even though like PC is really not is a master race, I don't know. Don't worry, guys. I'm for all gaming, but
All gaming lives matter.
I didn't even have that shirt like that. But anyway, yeah. So PCs were having troubles, even though the console versions were running it seamlessly. It's just I don't know. I guess the port from either or was having so many glitches where they had to like pull it off of Steam and before they can be able to sell it again, they had to fix all of the patches to
Oh
make it
wow.
where it's viable to play. And I remember like Rush was having a lot of troubles playing that game. So I haven't experienced it because I had the console version at the time, but after they fixed everything, I don't know, it's pretty smooth. But it took them I think about a month maybe to fix everything that was going on for the PC version.
Oh wow. That's gnarly, man.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, right? I think the one of the most recent ones that I remember too was No Man's Sky, seeing how that game promised so much for so many people and it turned out being a lump of coal. They had a huge day one patch where it really seemed like that game was never finished. They got the framework down for the game, printed that on discs, and then they continued working on content afterwards, which meant once they put the game in, they really couldn't people couldn't start playing until they downloaded the day one patch, or that first version 1.01, which included a lot of the core gameplay. So I guess that
Yeah.
goes into another thing too, is like are they shipping just unfinished games now, or are deadlines that crazy nowadays?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, why does it have to be where you have to release a game and then on day one there's already a patch to fix things that you didn't catch? Like,
Hmm.
I thought there was like testers and quality assurance people that would catch these things before release or production, but like you said, and maybe there's like a deadline they have to fulfill and they're just being rushed and they would like to release things because I guess when the higher ups say, "Oh yeah, this game is gonna release in I don't know 3 months from now," but then
Hmm.
the operations team is like, "Nah, we need like 6 months to get it fully operational."
Yeah,
So
and that's why I think too we'll be straying away from like physical copies of games, right? Because it's that much easier to set the release date on an online game that you just download. You can make last minute tweaks. I'm not saying the day before it comes out, but maybe a week in advance. Whereas in that week, you already had to have the discs printed and delivered to all the stores. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Um, but yeah, that is an interesting thing to think about. Why they just don't finish games. I mean, it makes sense, I guess, in the corporate world. There's calendars, and there's times when people will spend. I mean, what is it? Fall is like the prime time to release anything, right? Because that's when people are getting ready for the holidays and all that. Which is why next month is going to be crazy. Mario Odyssey, Evil Within 2, Call of Duty. I think it's
oh
like
my god,
October. Just the lineup is insane, dude. And it will be in November too. And I think going into December, I know a lot of stuff for the Switch is coming out, so that makes sense in that aspect, right? You want to come out with stuff in the fall time, so during the holidays you just make that big boom. Um, which is why I respect what Red Dead Redemption 2 did, right? It was supposed to come out fall this year, but they said, you know what? It's not done yet. We don't want to have these day one patch issues, man. We'll just come out with it next year. And you know what? I'm fine. Although I cried at first, I think it's for the better. They're not conforming themselves to this hard release date in the fall time. Try and rush something in, because that will affect how you perceive the game, right? Like
yeah,
people started to
exactly.
hate Final Fantasy, started to hate
Yeah, definitely.
um, Diablo because of all these errors they were running into, and it just deterred them from ever going back to the game. That's their first impression. That's the one that sticks with them. So I think it was a great idea. I mean, there are less. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess less pervasive. Um, day one patches. I think there was one in Uncharted 4 too. There was a day one patch, but all that did was it unlocked the hardest difficulty. So it wasn't anything too crazy that would affect your gameplay too much because I wasn't trying to play that on. I think it's called um, Unforgiving or something is the hardest difficulty, or Crushing I think is the hardest difficulty. So they released
Oh.
that on a day one patch, and I wasn't tripping too much. I was just gonna play that game on normal. And then I think Call of Duty had one. One of them had one where it upped the visuals from 720 to 1080, but you know, unless you're a friggin' PC snob, you wouldn't have really noticed that. I mean, sorry, PC Master Race, or I don't know what we call those people, but yeah, man, it's interesting. It's an interesting turn of events in gaming for sure. It makes you think. Well, I guess you do appreciate it that much more, right? That's why there's those glitches in OG games like Metroid and Zelda that people use in speed runs, where you can clip through walls and all that stuff. It's not like they ever came out with a patch that prevented you from doing that anymore,
I
right?
wonder how these people even find these clips or patches. I mean,
Yeah,
like bugs, like, oh yeah, let me decide to scale this building, which my character's not allowed to do, so I can jump over like a fence. It's
yeah,
just like, how do you get the time to find these things?
yeah. And it's such weird things too. Like they have to wear the power bracelet, hold a bomb, and pick up a pot at the same time, and that clips them through
Yeah.
walls. Like what? And then I know even in when I was playing Chrono Trigger, I was looking up some speed runs for that, and you can manipulate the RNG. So if you take a certain number of steps and press A at the same time, you avoid battles, and that pertains
Shit.
to boss battles too. So they were skipping boss battles by taking 5 steps and pressing A or something and going into the next screen at the same time. It was insane, dude. I don't know how they figured it
Damn.
out. At first I thought people were going into the coding of the game to see all these, little glitches or anything like that, but I don't know. I think legit someone just stumbles upon it, right? I mean, there's
Yeah.
millions of people playing the game. Someone's bound to discover it. So, yeah, who knows? Interesting times. But for sure, I don't think we will ever see the end of day one patches or day one difficulties with games coming out, especially now. With online where you can make tweaks so late into the development of your game. They're here to stay, unfortunately, and hopefully people can work on them better and learn from the successes like Destiny 2, or I think that might be it, dude. That's the only one I've really had a smooth, like, only online game I've had really a smooth release with. Like, I had no issues with that at all. The game downloaded super fast. I jumped in super fast and started playing super fast.
Yeah.
So nothing's been as seamless as Destiny 2 so far. So all the companies out there, gold standard, bro. Check out what Bungie's doing. But yeah, man. So that's it for our topic. Any game recommendations, man?
I would like to say like Fire Emblem not 3. Fire Emblem Awakening, which is on the 3DS.
Okay.
And I've spent a good amount of time playing that game. I beaten all the different types of ending, got my characters. I don't know. That game is really interesting. I think that was my first 3DS game, by the way, when I first got my 3DS. And even though it took me a while to get into it, I can see why this game got like really high reviews from many different sources of gaming news. It's just it was a lot of intricacies, relationships you can build. You can build your character to date so many different people and have like different
What?
dialogues, and then they have like kids.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, so it was just like, and then they all had their specific dialogues too. So it's like it didn't feel generic. It felt like, oh yeah, you're actually dating this, I don't know, this creepy chick, or you're dating this dancer.
Wait, in
It's just
Fire Emblem? This is all happening?
Fire Emblem.
Holy
So it's
shit,
like,
okay.
yeah, you're trying to save the world, but the choices you make, the people you make your connections with, they actually affect the gameplay
Uh-huh.
and who you. But and the thing is, you can change your personal class to any of the classes that you want to start off with. So it's just like, I would definitely recommend playing that game. The story is very well made, really well thought out, and I think, even though I haven't played any Fire Emblem games so far, I think this is one of the best Maybe I'll go play the other ones. I gotta go play the other two that just currently released. They got good reviews, but so far I might be a little biased.
This is the best Fire Emblem game ever, man, and it's the only one I played. That's funny, dude. I like that. That's how you put that on stage, dude. That was so funny. It was like, yeah, man, I need to save the world, but let me date this chick real quick to see what she's really like. That's, that's what Cloud was doing. Had to save the world, but had to take that gondola ride in the Golden Saucer with Barrett, by the way. Oh man, my game recommendation would be Papers, Please on the PC, man.
Oh, that
game
was when you were like getting a lot of reviewers or followers watching your stream.
That game, I didn't know what to expect from it, really. I just saw that it was getting great reviews and it was a good story. Then it was on sale for $3, so I picked it up on Steam. And you're a border patrol agent, essentially, and you're looking at people's passports, their vaccination papers, their asylum papers or whatever to make sure they're legit. So it's about attention to detail, and you're just sitting there like, this is someone's real job, but you're doing it in a video game, and it's fun because the characters are so quirky. There's like all these little side stories that you can affect with your decisions of letting people in or not. I think, for example, one is there's a married couple and the husband comes through, his papers are all good, and he's like, okay, thanks, my wife's coming up next, so she should be good. I'll see you later, thanks for all the help. And he leaves. His wife comes through and one of her papers is wrong, and it's up to you whether you want to send her through or kick her out. You know what I mean? And it gets kind of wild, and over time stuff happens, like terrorists start to try and attack the border and all this stuff. They give you a gun, and it gets really deep. It seems simple that you're just checking for papers. The game's fucking called Papers, Please, so it just looks like you're checking people's papers politely, but there's a lot more into it, a lot more to dive into. I ended up putting over 40 hours in that thing in a $3 game, so very worth it. Again, Papers, Please on Steam. I think you can get it on iPhone too, iOS. You could play it on your tablet, but Steam's the way to go on that one. It'll probably be the cheapest. And yeah, that is it for us this week. Rick, I'm sorry for interrupting your Destiny 2 time. I'm about to jump on myself. Next week we'll talk about something that came up a lot this week, actually, with PAX West and a lot of indie games showcasing themselves and media paying attention to these indie games. Is, should video game reviewers be good at video games? Like, let's say if I was really horrible at Call of Duty and I played it, got my ass kicked in it, would I just give it a shitty review because I was bad at the game? Or should I at least be competent enough to understand what's going on in the game to pass judgment on it? Right? So that'll be something we discuss next week. Should be good times. But before then, Rick, some words of wisdom.
If you want to exercise your butthole, watch a lot of scary movies.
Wait, I'm gonna have to bleep that all out. We'll see you guys next week.